So it's Saturday morning and I'm in my car, which is not usual for me on a Saturday morning, and I will explain why. And I'm cheesed off. So this morning I decided I was going to go over and do my clean, and I got ready as normal, went out the door, walked past where my car is parked, and I'm missing a number plate. So I went round the other side of the car and I'm missing the other number plate. Somebody has stolen my number plates. Never happened to me before. So obviously two things run through my mind. Firstly, I need to call the police, because there's probably now somebody driving around with my plates on their car. God knows what's going on there. And then I need to get new number plates, because I cannot drive a car legally without the number plates on. Now, luckily for me, there is a car auto parts place in the next road to me, and they are licensed to make replacement number plates. So I went over there and asked them, and they said, yeah, provided you've got your driving license and the vehicle logbook, we can have those done for you in no time. Brilliant, fantastic. So I then went home, I got my documents, took them over, and they were quite busy. Saturday morning is quite a busy one for these garages. Lots of people dropping in on the off chance they'll get stuff done. And so I left the car with them and I went and did my clean. I thought 3 hours of cleaning will at least take my mind off it, because I was pretty bloody annoyed about this. Because I'm thinking I know I'm overthinking it. It could have been anybody. You know, the fact that there are 3 small silver hatchbacks in one car park all next to each other, and mine happened to be the one that was got. Maybe they had stolen it to put on another like model so they wouldn't get caught. Maybe I just happened to be the first one they reached out to. But it's really annoying because, you know, that's your property. And there are people out there who just think they have a right to just take what they want. They don't think about the circumstances of the person that they've taken it from. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm comfortable enough that something like this is an annoyance, but it's not going to ruin my life. But that cost me £35 to have those plates made and have them fitted. And, you know, within a few hours, I've got new plates back on my car, and hopefully they'll stay there. But and that £35 is more than I would spend on a month on food, but that's my choice in some ways to spend that small amount. If I was living on the breadline, if I was living paycheck to paycheck, and £35 was literally all I had to spend every month on food, and there was no backup plan, I now cannot use my car. I can't get around. I can't do the things I need to do. I can't get to work. I couldn't, you know, if I had kids, I couldn't take them to school. All that sort of thing. So God knows where my plates are now. Anyway, so I have new plates on my car. That's done. I'm legal. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I tried to call the police, couldn't get through because for some reason my phone's just not connecting at all at the moment. It just rings out. And then it's not an emergency anyway, so I've reported it online through the online form. These plates have disappeared sometime through the night, and thankfully I decided that I was going to go and do the clean today, because if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't have got out today and I would never have noticed. So I've reported it online because that feels like the safest way to do it. I've now got proof that I've reported it, so hopefully, you know, I mean, what will happen, I don't know. At least, you know, if I suddenly start getting speeding fines through the post and all sorts of things, I can prove it's not me. I mean, God knows what it's been used for. Drug runs, speeding, joyriding, who knows. who knows? But there's now almost a cloned version of my car driving around out there somewhere. But the guy who I was talking to in the shop as he was doing it for me said they don't care what they put them on normally. He said he had a bright yellow motorbike which someone had nicked the plate off, and it turned up on a red car. So they don't care. If you get a plate on a car and they think they can get away with it. With the ANPRs they have now in the police cars, they tend to work it out. But if it's gone on to another small silver car, they might not notice that, and that could drive around for weeks like that. Absolutely blooming furious. You don't have the right to do it. And now I'm paranoid that every day I'm going to be going outside to check my car in case someone's come to do it again, because it now fixates in your mind. Anyway, so the 3-hour clean at least got some of that annoyance out of my system, and now I'm going to go in and do lunch. Just really annoyed. These things happen, and it happens all the time. There are always people getting their plates nicked, getting their cars nicked, getting their cars vandalised, all sorts of things going on. But it's never happened to me before. I've been very lucky in nearly 30 years of driving that I've never had something like this happen. Anyway, got that out my system. I needed to vent about that just to get it out my system and talk it out, so that I can now not have to think about it again. It's done, it's dusted, there's nothing else I can do, it's over, and that's it. Don't want to talk about it again. Good morning. It's a very chilly Sunday morning. It was 5 degrees when I headed out to Morrison's this morning, and that's because it's relatively clear sky, sun's out. Don't think it's going to last today though. So what's happened? So after yesterday's video, I did some research online, and I have bought myself a set of tamper-proof screws for my number plates. So it's a really clever idea. You screw them in like a normal screw with a flathead screwdriver, but because of the way that the gap is made in the screw for you to put the screwdriver in, where if you try to put a screwdriver in to undo them, it won't work. Now, I know that the chances are that this isn't going to happen to me again, but I keep checking out the window now to make sure they're still there, because it's now in the back of my mind that someone else could do it. So if I get these and put them on, at least I can think, well, I've done what I can to stop them. And if anyone tries to take them off, they're just going to end up breaking the number plate and they won't be able to use it. So what else happened yesterday? So at the end of yesterday, I had an email from my local region police. They'd received my online information about what had happened, and they've emailed me with a crime reference number for me. Now, I'm not expecting anything to come of this. It's not the point of it. The whole point is that if something happens and I start getting speeding tickets, parking fines, if someone does a drive away from a petrol station having filled up, then I can prove it's not me, because I've told the police, I've told my insurance company, and I need to contact my insurance company again tomorrow to give them the crime reference number that I now have. But I've logged everything as best I can to prove that it wasn't me, because if they've taken these number plates and put them on a car that looks quite like mine, then on CCTV it might look like I am the person who did it, and I've got to be able to prove however I can. I might not hear anything. Nothing might happen at all. But in a couple of weeks, I might start getting tickets through the post and fines and all sorts of things, and I need to be able to prove that it's not me. Anyway, so that's what I've done. So Morrison's was pretty good today. Now, during the week, I've earned a couple of Morrison's gift cards, so I had £10 of gift cards to spend. So whatever I've bought today hasn't actually cost me anything. The whole lot came to £5.19, which I didn't actually pay for. So let's have a look what I've got. Everything I think in here is healthy and good. One of my favourite things. And I know that you can get them at other times of the year, but because it's Christmas season, sprouts. So these were 89p down to 44p. Good sized sprouts there, and there were loads of them, so I bought 3. I love sprouts. You can freeze them. I still have some in the freezer, I think, from earlier in the year. But also, you can just chop them up into a stir fry, or you can put them into mash. There's all sorts of things you can do with them. What else did I get? Here's something I haven't had in absolutely ages. Parsnips. And of course, parsnip season's now coming in, so you're going to start getting some of these will start appearing on the discount shelves. These were 55p down to 17p. Pretty good deal. I love parsnips. What else did I get? More broccoli. 2 broccolis here. These were 79p each down to 55p. 2 of those. And this is quite timely because I used up all the last veg from in the fridge yesterday, so I was banking on getting stuff today, although I still have quite a lot of veg in the freezer, so it isn't like I would not have anything to eat. What else have we got here? More hummus. Loads of hummus on the shelf today. These were £1.35 each, down to 41p, so I got 2. Love a bit of hummus. And something else that was discounted, which the discounts haven't been very good, and I used to buy a lot of these on discounts when they were cheaper. Mackerel. This is called Sweet Cure mackerel, so whatever it tastes like, it's mackerel. These were £2.22 each for, there's 2 fillets in there, so 1 whole fish. They were down to 89p, which isn't an amazing deal, but you can freeze these, and I always freeze them. And a can of mackerel now is more than 89p. So that's it. So that's everything. As usual, I will put the information up there that tells you how much I would have spent if I bought all these things full price, and how much I've saved by buying them on yellow sticker. But of course, I got this shop for free, so I spent £5.19. That means I still have £4.81 to spend at my next shop. And that's it for Sunday shopping. Things I need to do, but I'm not necessarily going to do today. I need to do a food audit, so I roll on everything on spreadsheets, so I know what I've got, but of course things get forgotten, and there's always a few things that I've missed off. So I want to do a food audit, which I will probably do in December, just so that I know that at the end of the year, when I'm crunching all my final numbers for 2024, I know exactly how much food has been used and what's being rolled over to the new year. Get all my figures right. I've also made a lot of headway on the Christmas present problem, and that's taken a massive weight off my mind. So I have finished making or almost finished making my best friend's birthday present, her necklace and matching bracelet, and they've come out really well. I'm really pleased with those. So that's that out the way. I do need to get a Christmas present for her. I'm probably going to go and get that in Sainsbury's on Nectar Points, and I'll just get something. I might get her a bottle of wine and like a bathroom type thing, because she's really into her bathroom products. But I could get those for free then. That keeps that down. I managed to solve the problem of my brother's kids' presents. I found 2 art making kits on eBay. I was going to try and buy them in the shops, but A, the shops don't have a very good range, and B, they're really expensive. And I managed to find 2 things on eBay. One is a mask making kit, so you get these pre-done masks in the shapes of the insects and butterflies and things, and you get all the pens and things. So that's for the little one who's 4.5. She's not even 4.5 actually, is she? No. So she can have that, and it comes with the elastics, so she can wear them and everything, and they like all that sort of stuff. And for the older one, rock painting kits. They're really, I think they really got into rock painting when people were, you paint them up and then you leave them in the garden for people to find. So I've got one of those kits for her. I've never bought anything like that before. And I checked everything with my mum first. Do you think they'll like this? She's like, oh yeah, they'll be fine with that, because she knows what they're enjoying at the moment, what's in, what trends, because the kids are still into trends. My nephew is a bit more difficult. He's really into clothes. He's 7 years old and he's really into clothes. So although usually I would buy him an art thing as well, I've ended up going down the route of buying clothes for him. And I was going to go and look in Sainsbury's too and see if I could get something there, but the ranges are dreadful in Sainsbury's, and maybe it's just my Sainsbury's, I don't know. So I'm not going to bother with that. I ended up going on to Vinted, and there is so much brand new kids clothes on Vinted, and although I am still paying for it, it's like half the price. So I found he's really into camouflage colours and things like that, so I found him a green khaki camouflage hoodie, which was from George, and I think with the postage and everything I paid about £7 for that. And then I found him some really nice grey jeans, which I think the whole lot came to, I think, £8.9. So I spent a little bit more, but they're brand new with the tags, so it's not like I've bought him something that's been pre-worn or anything, because whilst I would be happy receiving something that was pre-worn if it was in good condition, my family aren't really into that sort of thing, and my mum definitely wouldn't be. So they've got the tags on, so when I bundle them all up, they've got new with the tags. As far as they know, I've bought it in the shop, it doesn't. So the kids are now all sorted. I just need to sort things for everybody else now. But I've made a good headway there, and that's kind of taken the edge off it. I don't feel quite so overwhelmed by it, and because some of the things that I have bought I've already bought for free, and I know that some of the things I'm going to go and get Nectar points, so they'll be free. I'm still well within my budget now. I've got lots of movement to buy some extra things if I think that I want to, or I see something. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So that is Sunday morning. I've just got to go and finish my best friend's birthday present today. Just got a last little bit to do, and I've got a 4 o'clock Zoom with my parents, if I can get my phone to work. The signal's still very iffy. We'll see how we get on with that. And that's it. So I need to get on with all this. It's now 10:30, so I'm going to get all this onto my spreadsheet so I know what I've spent, know what I haven't spent. Feeling productive. Good day. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye. For those of you who are wondering, the walking pad experiment is still going really well. I've really settled into a routine of it now. I can edit, I can type, I can use my phone if I need to, and I can monitor my steps because I have a pedometer on my phone, which is really helpful. And particularly like today, where currently today it is 8 degrees indoors, and outdoors it's 4 degrees. So I tend to find that whatever the temperature is outside, it's double the temperature inside. And this thing is really helping, because where I'm standing around a lot all day working, doing admin, or I'm crafting and I'm sitting or I'm standing, having this thing on and getting in some steps really warms me up. 20 minutes on this is enough to warm me up. If I'm really cold, I'll pop on an extra layer on top, like my dressing gown, and it'll just raise my temperature really fast. And if I just want to stay warm, I can walk slower, keep the layers on, and do the work at the laptop. So it has multiple uses, and now that the weather's colder, I'm finally getting a chance to test that out. That's working really well. The other thing I tend to do is do maybe half an hour of walking after I've eaten, because they reckon that exercising after you've eaten is, I think it's good for balancing the sugar levels or whatever it is. So I've been doing that since I started, just walking for say 20 minutes on here after lunch and after dinner, and I think it's making a difference. If you've watched my treadmill videos playlist, you'll know that I've lost some weight on this thing. I've lost 5.5 pounds so far in the first month, and that's given me the motivation that this is useful. I'm walking about just over 5 miles every day on average, but that doesn't include that isn't just the treadmill. That includes all the other walking I do, all the other exercise I do, any hikes I do, so that averages out. Any days where maybe I haven't done anything because I've been travelling or I've not been well or something, so it all balances out. If I was doing, a minimum of 10,000 steps every single day, it would be a bit more, but there have been a few days where I've not been using it at all. But this is working really well. It's so convenient, because now I'm doing I've got some work to do on the laptop. I need to do some spreadsheet work, and I'm watching a YouTube, listening to a YouTube video in the background, and it's here in front of me, so it's easy. And because my standing desk is here, Some people have been concerned about the balance issues. How do you do things when you're moving around at the same time? The typing is easy because you're just leaning on the keyboard anyway, like that. If I'm just watching and I want to be more focused, I can just lean one hand on the corner like that. So if this was in the middle of the room with nothing for me to lean on, I think I would struggle more. But because this is always at my standing desk, so I always have something to lean on, I'm always doing something, I'm always focused, I'm not having any accidents. This thing is great. It's just, so far it's made a huge difference. I'm getting the exercise, I'm getting better exercise than I had. I started out doing, I was walking like 10 miles a week. Now I'm doing about 36, 37, something like that. It's just a crazy difference. And I've got the options to the speed I can do. At some point I'm going to start adding an incline. I think once I've seen if I've lost any more weight this month, because at some point my body's going to start acclimatising to this thing. And if I start adding an incline, that'll help me work a bit harder. See, already now I've been on this for a few minutes, and talking as well and focusing or whatever. I'm quite warm now, and it's still 8 degrees in the flat. So I think this is going to be very helpful for getting me through winter. It's the only additional weapon I had against winter this year, and we've had a really mild October. November early on wasn't too bad, but we are now heading into a real cold snap, and they've been saying we're going to get snow this week. I don't think it will be much, but it's it's 4 degrees. It's 4 degrees outside today, and it's lunchtime. It's chilly. Weather's chilly. Anyway, so I'm going to get on with this. Just thought it might be interesting, a little update for anyone who's not following the little treadmill updates. I'll throw in the odd thing here so that you know I am still using it, because I know there were those of you defeatists out there who were saying, oh, you won't use it, you'll start using it to store your clothes on, or that's not going to work out. It's working. It's working very, very well. Anyway, so catch you later. Bye bye. Boy, oh boy, it's cold this morning. It's 10:30 on Wednesday and it's 2 degrees. It was -3 last night, and the night before we had snow. It wasn't a lot. It looked like it was going to be really heavy, but by the morning, because I live in a town, you couldn't really see it. I know that my friends who live in like countryside areas, the kids had a snow day, and I think it was far worse over there than it is here. But it's just really, really cold. I decided to put the heating on last night for the first time, and I never put it up that high, so I think the flat was something crazy like about 5 degrees or something. It was so cold, and even I have my limits, you know. Even on the snow night it wasn't that cold, because snow is like insulating. And then last night I was like, I'm not playing this game, really not. So I've been over and done I had a busy day yesterday, so I did my fortnightly 3-hour clean in the morning, and then in the evening I did my run to Morrison's, and then I did my clean afterwards. Lovely and warm. And then of course I got back and realised how cold it was, so I didn't record anything last night of my Morrison's haul because I just didn't have the energy. I was cold, I wanted to get the flat warmed up, I wanted to get organised. So I put the heating on. I had the thermostat up to 14, which is quite sufficient. It really made a difference, and I only have it on in the key rooms of the home anyway. So front room, bedroom and bathroom. And you know, that's a ramp up of about 10 degrees, which makes a huge difference because I'm used to being in cooler conditions now anyway. So that was fine, and I don't put the heating right up anyway because I live in a crappy flat that's badly insulated. The double glazing should have been replaced years ago. I am mopping my windows every morning like crazy at the moment, but I'm reluctant to put up the bubble wrap that I did last year, which would mean I wouldn't have to bother with that, because you know it's really cold now, and it's going to be -3 again for the next couple of nights, and it's going to be like 3 or 4 degrees every day. But at the weekend on Saturday it's back up to 13. It's crazy. So there's no point in me doing that because it's all going to be changed again. Normally I would put up the bubble wrap, I think I put it up before Christmas last year, before I went away for Christmas, and then I left it up until, I don't know, probably February, early March, depends on the weather really. I'm assuming it makes a little bit of a difference. It certainly means I don't have to look at my terrible windows. And I've been watching my my neighbours downstairs who where is he going? Where are you going, mate? Oh, he is in Decatur. It's bin day, so it's a bit chaotic because the big old bins are driving around blocking up all the roads. Yeah, I've been watching my neighbours downstairs who moved in August, and they've slipped into the behaviours of the previous neighbours, which is keep all the blinds closed, never open the windows, water pouring down their windows. I mean, that's what caused the damage last time, but you know, when it's like -3, you don't want to be opening your windows. And the annoying thing is that when the weather turns like this, the letting agents send through emails reminding people about venting their windows and avoiding condensation. So they want you to have your windows on vent when it's in minus temperatures, and you can't do that. It's just ridiculous. So I've got one of those little, the little things that the window cleaners have, and they just scrape down the window. I have one of those, and I open the window, scrape it all down, the water goes out the window, and then I mop it, and then it's fine for the day. But this is only going to be for a couple more days, and then we're going to be back into 30 degrees again. It's just all over the place. It's really strange. I was going to get out and sort the garden because I haven't taken down any of the plants yet, which I probably now had it. The problem is that all the bugs are now hibernating in the soil, and I'm worried about killing them if I move all the plants. So I might just leave everything now and deal with it in spring, because that's creating like nice safe just layers on the earth for all the creatures that are hiding in the soil trying not to die of hypothermia. So I might leave that now. Anyway, so here I am. Oh yeah, I didn't do the thing for my yellow stickers yesterday because it was just so cold and I just wasn't in the mood for it. Didn't get very much. I can't remember how much I didn't spend anything actually, because I still had some more of that Morrison's gift card, so I didn't actually spend any money, but I will put up here what I would have spent, how much I saved. I bought a sandwich because it was a chicken and bacon sandwich because I won't get back until probably after 3 o'clock today. Actually, I've got to go after the clean. I've got to go to the post office. I've got to send something and put my money in from today, and then I've got to go to Sainsbury's and try and pick up a few things for Christmas on Nectar Points. So I probably won't be back until like nearly 3 o'clock, so I can then grab that sandwich and have that, and then dinner's normally about 4 or 5 o'clock anyway. So anyway, so yeah, so I bought the chicken and bacon sandwich. I bought a tub of coleslaw and a pack of 4 vegetable samosas. That was all they had. There was nothing in yesterday, and I don't know if it's because it had snowed yesterday and maybe some of the deliveries hadn't managed to get through from outlying areas, because a lot of the shelves were empty. There was almost nothing on the reduced counters and not that many people in the store actually. It was really quiet, and I think people just thought, you know what, I'm not going out anywhere. And when I went in to do the clean yesterday, I got the impression that not many people had been in, and I know some of them live out in the country, in the surrounding area, and were probably snowed in, because, you know, it was hardly anything in town where I am, but you've only got to go 5 miles out of town and you probably couldn't dig your car out. I've had that experience myself. Anyway, so, feels like winter is properly here, even though it's still autumn. I don't like it. What can I say? The tamper-proof screws arrived for my number plates, so I put those on yesterday, and that was great. They were really easy to put in, and then I tested them, and you can't undo them with a standard screwdriver. So anyone who's passing, who probably just has a basic screwdriver with them looking for an opportunity, won't be able to get them off. So I'm slightly less paranoid than I was a couple of days ago. But I did manage to stab myself with the screwdriver, and that's a bit sore, I have to say. I'm a klutz, what can I say? Oh, it's the one place you can go to get free heat is your car. It's a good little backup. You know, if I had a power cut, I could charge my phone in the car. If it's really cold and you know, I don't know, the heating doesn't work or something, my car is there, and you know, it's a nice little extra thing to have. Anyway, so it's a gorgeous blue sky, sun, and I can see the moon as well. Oh, so cold. Right. You can't even see me now, it's so sunny. I'm facing the sun, look. But it's lovely and warm. Right, I'm going to go because you can't even see me now, you just look silly. That's the end of that. Speak to you soon, bye bye. It's Thursday morning's quite early and it's cold again. 2 degrees in the flat this morning. I'm going to go out to Sainsbury's, get my steps on, walk it and get warmed up. I was going to go to Sainsbury's yesterday, but then I had a notification to say one of the parcels, one of the things I've ordered online, was going to be delivered. And I thought, if I get home quick enough, I can catch the delivery man. And then it turned out the delivery wasn't coming to me at all. It was going to Sainsbury's. So I could have actually collected it there because I had another notification saying that a parcel had arrived there. And I thought it was a different parcel because I have several things coming at the moment. Anyway, so I'm going to walk down there now. It's a good excuse to get out. I don't want to be stuck in here all day. It's really cold out there, but once I get walking, I've dug out my proper winter coat, so I'm hoping it still fits me, or I'm going to be cold on my walk. I was reading some comments about the video I posted about my neighbours having that row, and I knew I'd get some pushback about it. What are you doing talking about your neighbours? Well, it's a tricky one. I mean, we've all been neighbours for about 6 years, so you see stuff, you know, you see stuff go on, and you know, people said, oh, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mum. I know there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mum. All my friends are stay-at-home mums. My mother was a stay-at-home mum. If you're going to be a stay-at-home mum, though, you need to fully embrace it. And you know, I don't know if their argument was an accurate depiction of their relationship when he was accusing her of being lazy and keeping a messy house and whatever you. That may be his opinion. He doesn't look like the kind of guy with very high standards, though. And it may be that she doesn't like being a stay-at-home mum. She might hate it. But like a lot of parents who would like to go back to work but can't, because of flexible working, it may be that she can't find something that fits in with picking up the kids from school, taking the kids in the morning, school holidays, all that sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know them. I don't want to know them, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure they're not the kinds of people that would enrich my life, so to speak. I would imagine she's pretty cheesed off. That was almost a crash outside the door. She spends a lot of time on her own. He works really long hours, so he'll go out to work at 8:30. Sometimes he won't come back till 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes he'll come back 5, 6 o'clock and then go out again and not come back till late. At the weekend, I've noticed he's now going out and sometimes not coming back at all. And I've noticed that some evenings when he is home, she's not there. So I think there's quite a lot of avoidance going on, that maybe they're just avoiding each other where possible. But on and off over the 6 years, there's been spats. You never see any of it happening when the kids are around. It always tends to be when they're at school. So I don't know how much they witness. I mean, his comment was that they're always rowing at the weekend, so they must be seeing stuff. I've noticed in the behaviour of the children, particularly in the summer when they're out playing out the back, you can see that there are some issues going on. The little girl just stands there and screams. She just screams and screams and screams. And she's school age. She just started school, I think, last year. So she's probably like 5. And she'll just stand there and scream. And, you know, I feel so sorry for the kids because they don't choose that. And if you're brought up in environments like that, it doesn't always happen. There are kids who, as they grow up, they push back and they want to do the opposite of their parents, but many will grow up in those environments and treat that as the norm. This isn't my background. I wasn't brought up in a background like that. I was incredibly lucky to have a good upbringing. Parents who got on well, who took responsibility, who did everything right. But I mean, where I live here, you see stuff all the time. There are always fights going on in the street. There are always people having rows. There are always arguments. There's always vandalism. There's a lot of drugs up here. And I think all those things have an impact. And if you're bringing up children in environments like that, and I saw her walk down the street last week, and I'm fairly sure she's pregnant again. So there's going to be another one joining that system. I don't know. I don't want to get involved, but, you know, at the time I was recording what I was saying and suddenly that row kicked off in the streets, and I just left the camera rolling, I guess. But it's observational material, isn't it? I mean, that's probably the most unusual thing that's happened here in a bit. And I can have an opinion on it. You may not like the fact that I talk about my neighbours, but I'm pretty sure my neighbours all talk about me. I mean, I've been in relationships where I was expected to stay at home and not go out. That was my first experience of relationships. I had a partner who would go out for long, long days, working, not high-end work. He wasn't bringing in much money, you know. He was a benefit claimant, but working on the side. He was totally corrupt. It was a dreadful relationship. But I was expected to just sit at home with his mother all day. And it frustrates you, and I got more and more frustrated, and eventually I snapped and I left. And he was absolutely blooming furious. Well, it was a waste of space. So it's not like I have no experience of these situations. My last partner I had before I became like, this is it, I'm single now, he had violent tendencies. After we'd split up, there was 1 year where we lived together. There were actually 2 years where we lived together. One was the last year we were together, and then way before that, when his parents moved abroad for a year, and he stayed at the house, and I moved in because it helped with the bills and stuff. And after I left, he said to me that he was so sick of the sight of me, he thought about killing me. I found that out afterwards. And it was one of the solidifying factors that made me think, I don't want to do relationships anymore. And after we had completely split up, I had quite a nice couple of years of being completely single. I wasn't interested, and then I got onto dating sites and I started messing around a bit on there, just getting... There was something in my system I needed to get out of my system, and I did. And I met some pretty dreadful people. A lot of married men looking for extra relationships, a lot of people just looking to get laid, and a lot of fake profiles, and a lot of very dodgy people. There were some very, very dodgy people on there. And after I got bored with that, and I have thoroughly enjoyed my singledom since then, and I have no intention of going back to a relationship. Who knows, maybe in 10 years that's something I'll want to do. Maybe in 5 years, maybe it'll never happen at all. I have no need for a relationship. This is the thing. And when I look at how people are stuck in these awful relationships, very argumentative, stressful relationships, but there are lots of people who would rather be in a relationship, no matter how bad it is, than be on their own. And I see a lot of that here, because I'm very close to the pubs here. They all roll out having had a few drinks, and you see a lot of arguments between couples, and I just think, why would you want to live your life like that? But if you get into the cycle of it, if you are used to living your life like that, if you've come from a background of that where that was what you saw growing up, you might think, well, that's what relationships are. People row. They don't all row. But I'm also not very good at choosing partners, and I've decided to go down the safe route. And I like the safe route. I'm in control of my life. I have some autonomy. I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to entertain somebody. I don't have to fit in with someone else's schedule, which doesn't really fit in with my lifestyle anymore. So it works for me. But, you know, I live in a very busy area where there's a lot going on outside my windows, and what I see doesn't make me jealous. It really doesn't. So that's my further comments on the neighbours. It has been very quiet since that argument, but obviously I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and it sounds like arguing has been their existence for quite a while. I think when it spills out into the street, it just gets worse. Anyway, so that's that little update, and now I'm going to get myself organised. I am going to head off to Sainsbury's. We're going to have more snow tonight, and then just got to get through Friday, and then the temperatures are going to pick up again for a bit, which will be lovely. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to get organised and get myself down to Sainsbury's. I'm back. It was cold out, but I had my layers on. And by the time I got back, I was absolutely roasting because I was carrying quite a heavy bag. So we did quite well today. I had a list of things that I had a rough idea what I wanted, and other things where I knew exactly what I wanted. And I pretty much bought everything on Nectar Points. So I've been saving up quite a few of my Nectar Points towards Christmas, because it means that those Christmas presents I buy aren't impacting my budget. So today I spent £26.20. I saved £7.85 on Nectar prices on the shelf. So there were some things that I bought which were a fiver, which were down to £2.50. So some of the offers were pretty good. And I also got another cash back on Shopmium. So first things I got were a couple of things for my best friend for her Christmas box. I bought her some bathroomy stuff. She loves this sort of thing. So we have this moisturiser. She introduced me to this because she uses this sort of thing. And they're really, really good, simple. And they're cheap. So this was a fiver down to £2.50, I think it was. That's Garnier. That was a fiver down to £2.50, I think. Was that £2.50? Yeah, I think it was. And then these really cute little lip balms were also discounted half price, down to I think £2.50. So we always give like little bathroom kits and things, and she loves her bathroom stuff, so that's that. I also got her a bottle of the Diablo wine. I got a bottle of this last week for my dad. It was discounted on Nectar prices from, I think it was £10 down to £8.50, or £10.50 down to £8.50, and I also got a £2 off with Shopmium. Shopmium offered me the deal again. The Nectar price offer has gone, so it was £10, but Shopmium's still offering £2 off, so I've already had that cashed back in, so that was £8. That's for my best friend as well, because she loves a drop of red. What else have I got? I've got a couple of things for myself. So I bought some more tonic water, purely because Nectar prices were doing it for 60p, and it's always good to have on the shelf. And oops, white wine vinegar, I need that for a particular project that I'm working on. That was £1.85, but that's the cheapest you can get in white. Has to be white wine vinegar. The other thing I got was, I always get my brother a beer selection. You try to go for a northern beer selection, because they're things that he doesn't see down at his end, I think. And he's a bit of a lager fan. So I bought 3. They were doing 3 for £6. So I'm not sure how much I've saved on this. Let me have a look. So yeah, that... this one, so these were 3 for £6. This one was a saving of, so let's say they all went down to £2. So I saved 75p on that one, because that was £2.75. I saved 35p on this one, because that was £2.35. And I saved 50p on that one, because that was £2.50. So I saved £1.60 across those 3 beers, which will be for my brother. He always likes those. And that's it. The only other thing I picked up, the present, that is for my niece. It's the rock painting kit that I've got on eBay. So that's, I've got got 2 more gifts to arrive. My one that I bought from Vinted, which is for my nephew. That's arrived in the post box over the road, so I've got to go and get that later. And I'm waiting for one more eBay thing, which is being delivered here at some point. So if I'd bought all of that, that would have cost me £26.20. And that's with all the discounts. I bought it all on Nectar points, because I'm earning like crazy, as hard as I can, Nectar points on the 2 survey sites I use. So I'm always boosting my Nectar points by, I don't know, maybe a tenner a week. We're doing quite well at the moment. So I ended up actually paying, because you pay in Nectar points, you can pay in £2.50 increments. So I spent £25 worth of Nectar points, and for all of that I've just paid £1.20. So all those presents were basically free, which really impacts my budget, because so far I've only had to pay for a few things. So I've bought 2 things on Vinted, brand new with tags clothes for my nephew, because he's really into clothes for some reason at 7. And the 2 art kits for my nieces, they were from eBay, so I had to pay for those. But they weren't really expensive things. I bought something for my mum, which was a bit expensive, but because I've bought so many things so far on discount, I had a Christmas budget of £125. At the moment I'm coming in at 108 actual spending, which is fine, because if I come in under budget, every little helps. So that's how I managed to buy Christmas presents today and spend only £1.20. Takes the pressure off. Once I get stuck into it, it feels really overwhelming when I start and I'm making lists and I'm worrying about what to get people and la-di-da-di-da. And then once I make inroads into it and I see what I can do. So I haven't bought everything that I wanted at Sainsbury's today, because I'm pretty sure that as the days and the weeks get closer to Christmas, there will be other deals that start to appear. The pressure will be on, so I still have to buy anything or whatever I'm going to get for my sister-in-law. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get what I want with nectar points there. And I still need to get a couple of extra other bits for my parents and my brother. And then I'm done. So most of that will also be free. So that'll keep the budget right down, which will be great. And gives me a little bit of leeway if I see something that I know they'll really like, but it's going to cost me money. So that's how I'm doing Christmas this year. It's going pretty well, and I'll keep you updated on how I get on with that, so I can show you what I've actually spent on Christmas, what I've actually saved on Christmas, and then that'll all kind of make sense. So that is Thursday morning. This afternoon I've got to go to the library and take my library book back. I was reading Chris Van Telleken's book on UPFs, and I was going to renew it because I've only got a third of the way through it, and someone else has requested it, so I've now got to send it back, so I'll have to try and get it out again in the new year. But it's okay. I'm not much of a reader. I'm a lazy reader. I used to read a lot, but I'm not very good at it now. So I'm just going to get that book out again next year and carry on where I left off. I'll make a note of the page number and I'll just take you back this afternoon. So, alright, I'm going to get on now, get all this stuff onto my spreadsheet so I can keep an eye on the costs, and away we go. See ya!